5 big mistakes to avoid when selling your home. These mistakes could cost you thousands of dollars, so stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about 5 big mistakes to avoid when selling your home. We release new videos like this every week, so like and subscribe. We all want our home to sell for the highest price and as quickly as possible. There are 5 common mistakes, though, that we see made that can keep that from happening. Now, there are a lot of things you can do to ensure that your home sells for the highest price and quickly, and we detail all of those in our book. I'll put a link to it in the description. Okay, let's get started. Number 5, curb appeal. First impressions really matter. Often homeowners pay attention to the things inside their house, but they don't pay attention to what a buyer sees when they park at the curb and walk up to the house. Your lawn needs to be well maintained. If you've got bushes, they need to be trimmed. Maybe you want to plant some flowers in your garden right up underneath the windows. If the paint is faded, repaint it. And here's a good one. If the handle to your door is pitted or worn and faded, when a buyer puts their hand on that, boy, it just doesn't give them a great impression. So put new hardware on it if it's needed. And then inside your home, when you walk into your foyer, that first view that people see needs to be absolutely as stunning as possible. So pay special attention to that. Number 4, cleaning. We recommend that you hire a professional cleaning company to come in and give your home a deep cleaning. People are going to go through your cupboards, they're going to look in your closets. If they see dust bunnies along the baseboards, that's all going to give them an impression that the home maybe isn't as maintained as well as it really is. So having a cleaning company come in can take care of that for you, and it doesn't really cost that much. Number 3, minor repairs. We're not talking about big ticket items here. We're talking about things that are more like home maintenance. Things like replacing light bulbs, fixing leaky faucets, fixing a chipped pane of glass, or if you have a carpet that is stained, getting it cleaned. If it can't be cleaned, you might want to replace that. All of these things work together to give buyers the impression that your home is well maintained. Now, we know that you do maintain your home well, but perception is the greater part of reality. Number 2, spending money on things that we probably don't need to spend money on. We've all seen those shows on TV where a homeowner spends $50,000 on a new kitchen and they get $100,000 more for the house. That doesn't really work in the real world, at least not most of the time. I have a copy here of Remodeling Magazine's top projects and what the actual cost versus value return is. I'll put a link to it in the description so you can download it yourself. But for example, a major kitchen remodel in a mid-range cost about $60,000, but you get about $40,000 in return. Not the full thing. Now, you might still want to do that because if that's what's keeping your home from selling at all, that might be the right thing to do. But you generally don't want to do these big projects. It's really the minor things that will give you the most bang for your buck, the better return. Now, if you have a really old roof, that could keep buyers from even making an offer on your home. And in that case, you might want to spend the money to get a new roof, even though you'll probably get about 80% of the value back. Are you ready? Here's the number 1 mistake to avoid. Can you guess what it is? That's right, it's pricing your home too high. It's counterintuitive, but pricing your home too high can actually cause you to net less at the closing table. Wait a minute, how can that be? Often sellers think, well, I need to price my home really high so that I have room to negotiate. Well, actually, in our area anyway, homes sell for, on average, about 95% of list price, if they're priced correctly. When we price our home too high, a couple of things happen. One, it's probably not going to sell quickly, and when a home sits on the market, it gets a stigma. And buyers think, well, there must be something wrong with it, or, ooh, I can get a deal. And then they offer a lower price. Another important thing to know is that most buyers look for homes on the internet today. And the best chance that you have of having a lot of buyers see your home is when it first is listed. So if you price it above what it's actually going to sell for, you're going to miss a lot of potential buyers. Also, buyers search for homes in tiers. So if they're thinking they're going to buy a home for $350,000, they may search for $375,000 and less. If your $350,000 home is listed at $400,000, they're never even going to see it. So here's an example. My wife went on a listing appointment, I think it was 2 years ago, and the seller insisted that her home was worth well over $300,000. Well, Vicki thought that she could probably list it for $270,000 and sell it for $260,000, maybe $265,000. But the seller said, no, my home is better than all the other homes, and I want to list it at $330,000. Needless to say, she engaged another realtor. And then that realtor reduced the price and reduced it again, and it still didn't sell. So she engaged another realtor who reduced the price again and again, and then it finally sold for far less than it could have sold had it been priced properly. It sold for around $227,000, but get this, she also had carrying costs for 9 months. The HOA fees in this community are about $400 a month. That's a lot of money. That's like $3,600. Plus, she had her taxes that she had to pay, and insurance, and electricity, and water. So she ended up getting far less than she could have had she priced it properly to begin with. One final tip about pricing. You can go online and you'll see these estimates of what your home is worth. You'll see them all of the big syndicated sites. Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. They are looking at hard data, things like the number of bedrooms, the lot size, and so on, which is important, but it can't take into account the softer things like the feel of the home, how well it's upgraded, the view out the windows, and things like that. So look at them, but don't take them as gospel. You need an in-depth comparative market analysis to know what your home is worth. Okay, so those are our 5 things to avoid when you're selling your home. Now, here are a couple real simple tips that you can use to make it easier to sell your home. Number 1, you know those boxes that we get from Amazon and other online companies? We put them in the recycle bin all the time. Save them. And what you do with these is all those things that are on your bathroom counter and your kitchen counter, put them in the boxes. And then when it's time to show your home, just pick up the box, put it underneath the counter, and your counter is clean and good to go. After the showing, take the box out, put it back on the counter. It can save you a lot of time and keep your home looking great too. Tip number 2, before a showing or an open house, turn on all the lights in the house and open the windows, blinds, curtains, whatever. You want your home to be really, really bright. And in today's world, that also makes it a little safer. We'll put something in the listing to the private remarks to the realtor that says, please leave the lights on when you leave. That way nobody's touching your light switches. That gives your buyers the best impression when they walk in the house. It's not dark and so on. And if you have a room that is dark, consider getting a floor lamp or something that you can put in that room temporarily just to light it up. You can even borrow one from a neighbor. And finally, here's tip number 3. Write a couple of paragraphs on what you love about living in your neighborhood or your house or your town. And then print it up and have it there on the counter for potential buyers to see and read. Give it to your realtor. We'll take that and incorporate it into the description in the listing. See, here's the thing. Facts make people think. So it has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Oh, that's nice. They need to know that. But emotions make people act. People buy homes similar to the way they buy cars. They buy what makes them feel good. So we want to have a way to craft the feeling so buyers know what it's like to live in your home. Okay, so that about wraps it up. Like I said, I have links in the description to the things we talked about. Take a look at the cost versus value estimates for your area. It'll give you a good idea of what might be a good investment and what you probably want to avoid. We release new videos every week, so until next week, have a great day.